Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitagora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Gaura Ki Jai, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai, Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagavan Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you so much for presenting yourselves, not exactly here, but just generally in the Krishna consciousness movement, taking up to this path that is really sought by very little, very few people, and having faith, sticking around. We've been here for different number of years, months, whatever, weeks, but the fact that you didn't just come the first day, but came the second day and the third one, and whatever time you've been here for, you've had faith that it is actually the real path, which is not something that is present in everyone. So very few people stick around. And also, just keep giving the support to each other, because we need it. I'm sure we can't do Bhakti alone. Bhakti is a matter of exchange of mellows. So I took up this duty. Someone asked, the person who was initially supposed to give the class was not available anymore, and they asked if there's anyone who can step in. And I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, and I was feeling a little inspired to share the knowledge that I'm getting. So I took up the challenge, and I hope with your mercy, with all your mercy, and Srila Prabhupada's mercy, I can speak something, even just a drop, something just add or remind us, because we know many of these things. They are talked about every other day. So I hope that whatever I can speak can sort of ignite just a bit of fire, just fan the spark for trying to understand this matter of Krishna, understanding how he works, understanding how his energies work, and how we can, and what is the highest level of this understanding, which is having a loving relationship with him. So I'll be reading from the Bhagavad Gita, the 18th chapter, entitled The Perfection of Renunciation, text 40. That's a verse that is scheduled. 1840, yeah. I've not had a go on the Sanskrit, but I'm going to give it a try. So if you can kindly repeat after me. Na tat asti pritivyam va. Na tad asti pritivyam va. Divi deveshu va punaha. Divi deveshu va punaha. Satvam prakriti jair muktam. Satvam prakriti jair muktam. Yad Ebihi Syat Tribir Gunai. Yad Ebi Syat Tribir Gunai. Natad Asti Pritivyam Va. Divi Deveshu Va Punaha. Satvam Prakriti Jair Muktam. Yad Ebi Syat Tribir Gunai. Natadasti Pritivyam Va. Divi Deveshu Va Punaha. Satvam Prakriti Jair Muktam. Yad Ebi Syat Tribir Gunai. You wanna give it a go?
Natadasti prithvivyam va
Natadasti pritivyam va
divi deveshu va punaha
divi deveshu va punaha
sattvam prakriti jair muktam
Sattvam prakrita jai muktam
yadevihi syat vivargunai hai.
Yadevi satrivi gunai Natadasti pritivyam va Divi deveshu va punaha Sattvam prakriti jair muktam Yadevi satrivi gunai. Any of you? Natadasti pritivyam va Divi deveshu va punaha Sattvam prakriti jair muktam Yad ebi satrivi gunai. Okay, thank you. Word-to-word translation. I'll just read it real quick. Na, not, tat, that, asti, there is, pritivyam, on the earth, va, or divi, in the higher planetary system, deveshu, among the demigods, va, or punah, again, sattvam, existence, prakriti jai, born of material nature, muktam, liberated, yat, that, a bee from the influence of these, syat is, three, gunai, modes of material nature. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. Purport, very short one. The Lord here summarizes the total influence of the three modes of material nature all over the universe. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna do the invocation first and then we're gonna get to it. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripas Sindhubhyeva cha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatanine. Hare Krishna. So I'm just gonna refer, since the purport says that the Lord summarizes the total influence of the three modes, I'm just gonna refer to the previous three verses which talk about these three modes, and I'm gonna quickly read the translation and purport, not long purports. So just listen keenly. So okay, I'm gonna read the. Yeah, I'm going to start from verse 37. And the translation, it goes, O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. Purport: a conditioned soul tries to enjoy material happiness again and again, thus he chews the chewed. But sometimes in the course of such enjoyment, he becomes relieved from the material entanglement by association with a great soul. In other words, a conditioned soul is always engaged in some type of sense gratification. But when he understands by good association that it is only a repetition of the same thing, and he is awakened to his real Krishna consciousness, he is sometimes relieved from such repetitive so-called happiness. Text 37. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Purport: in the pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and the senses and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult, bitter, like poison, but if one is successful in following the regulations and comes to the transcendental position, he begins to drink the real nectar and he enjoys life. Text 38. That happiness which is derived from the contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. Purport: a young man and a young woman meet, and the senses drive the young man to see her, to touch her, and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end, or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated, or there is divorce, there is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense objects is always a cause of distress and should be avoided by all means. Text 39. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and delusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. Purport: one who takes pleasure in laziness and in sleep is certainly in the mode of darkness, ignorance, and one who has no idea how to act and how not to act is also in the mode of ignorance. For the person in the mode of ignorance, everything is illusion. There is no happiness either in the beginning or at the end. For the person in the mode of passion, there might be some kind of ephemeral happiness in the beginning, and at the end, distress. But for the person in the mode of ignorance, there is only distress both in the beginning and at the end. In our text today, there is no beginning. So there is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems which is freed from these three modes of material nature. And the purport is that the Lord here summarizes the total influence of the three modes of material nature all over the universe. Yeah, so it's before I start to speak, before I go from Prabhupada's words to my combination, the combination of Prabhupada's message in my own words, I'd like to seek the mercy of all of you to kindly pray for me, just be present with me. Any offenses that I may commit, I kindly ask that you forgive me. I will do my best by the power that I have gotten from chanting the holy names and just the little association I've had with Krishna consciousness. So this topic of the three modes of material nature has been repeated time and again. One thing that many people talk about Krishna consciousness, one thing that they say that they love about Krishna consciousness is the philosophy, the scientific, thing about it. Krishna consciousness is a science. When we're out of book distribution, I thought that one thing that would intrigue many people to get a book was to say that this book is on spiritual science. When we talk about it as science, then it's something that you can actually break down, and that way then religion, or what people see as sectarianism, or what people see as faith, forms of faith, then becomes an actual process that we can dive into as a science as well. And of course, the highest level of practicing this science is coming to Prema Bhakti, or the highest level of loving relationship with the Lord. So this particular part, the three modes of material nature, is part of this vast science, and it is quite very well explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a summary of this spiritual science, and Lord Krishna, there is actually a whole chapter dedicated to just the three modes of material nature. So it is a very, very crucial science, because this material world is just basically running under the modes of material nature. Everything that we can actually see is just a combination of the different modes of material nature. Literally everything, even these bodies that we take, whether female or male, or being born in this continent or this other continent, or being born in either of the 8.4 million species, or having a particular face. They say even the face, how you can tell a person in the mode of goodness, but just how their appearance is. So these modes of material nature mix in very, very unlimited ways. It's compared to the three primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. All these other colors that exist are just emanations, are just combination of these three colors, and they give. If you can go to those people who use the computer maybe for some piece of art or some graphics. You can scroll through that whole, and there's literally unlimited. There are unlimited combinations of these three primary modes. So these three primary colors. So in the same way, these three modes, they mix completely different, and they give rise to completely different personalities or individual things that are not completely different from each other, but they are just basically a combination of the same thing. So they are similar but different at the same time, which is also part of the science that is taught in Krishna consciousness. We may compare it also with how each and every one of us has a different fingerprint from each other, from everyone. So even all this, and it goes from the most gross, the gross elements, earth, water, air. These can mix to create existences, particular existences in these three modes of material nature, and it goes even further to things which are subtle. We have thoughts, impressions having completely particular, impressions. Srila Prabhupada mentions that as we go through, in the material existence, as we collect, as we continue, cultivating material existence, the mind picks up so many impressions that combine very, very differently, and especially when we sleep, we can see this very, very articulately, because sometimes we see ourselves, maybe we are swimming in a bowl of water, or we are birds flying in the mountains, but they're not things that we have actually we have not actually experienced, but they're just because of these different combinations of these different existences that are influenced by the modes of material nature. So this verse is saying that there's no being existing, no animal species, no living being, either here on Earth, on the earthly planets, or the demigods, even in the higher planetary systems, which are free from these three modes of material nature. So these three material natures, Prabhupada is using the word free, to be free. So there is something. So that is to mean, when we are under the modes of material nature, that is to mean that we are bound. Another word that Srila Prabhupada uses in the 7.14 verse, he says that another one for guna is ropes. So these ropes, these gunas, they bind us in this material world through the different karma, the different activities that we go through. They are all these activities are all influenced by these ropes, these gunas, and he explains that. I'm just gonna refer to that. The verse is 7:14. Another meaning of guna, I'm just going to read quick. Another meaning of guna is rope. It is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the ropes of illusion. A man bound by the hands and the feet cannot free himself, but he must be helped by a person who is unbound. So another analogy that I got from that these three modes are compared to is three chains: a golden chain, silver chain, and bronze chain. They have different levels. The bronze chain is the mode of ignorance, or the quality of the gunas in the mode of ignorance. The silver chain is the qualities of the mode of passion, and the golden chain is the mode of goodness. Well, we may think, oh wow, I want the golden chain. Or we are attracted to opulence. It's beautiful. Oh my God, yeah. But that's exactly where it is. That's the illusion. We think that beauty is to be found in this material world. Yes, it is true. Krishna says that everything that seems magnificent in this material world is only but a drop, a tiny bit of his amazing splendor. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman ki jai, Shri Shri Gaura ki jai. But so we see that there's a golden chain and a silver chain and a bronze chain. We think these are metals anyway. I'd like to be bound by such chains, but one whose intelligence doesn't want to be bound at all, even though it's a golden chain, because the feeling is the same. We are bound anyway. So Prabhupada says that the only way to be unbound out of this. He compares us, the jiva, to be bound, to be like a man bound by the hands and the feet. Our feet. Just imagine yourself. You can't let yourself. It's completely, because they are chains. They're very, 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 very strong. I'm actually just gonna read this verse, the 7:14. It says, "This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. And so Srila Prabhupada is explaining that purport that we have been bound, by the hands and the feet, and we cannot free ourselves. And therefore, the only help that we can get is external, because we are not free enough to break this chain. The only thing that we can, the only power that we hold in being unbound of these ropes is simply to desire to be unbound. That's the only thing that we that we own. That's the only power that we own. And when we desire, because Krishna is seated in the bottom of everyone's heart, then he fulfills our desires. At first, our desires are very illusioned. So we desire the gold chain, or we desire the silver chain, and we desire the bronze chain. And Krishna is very, very merciful. He's very giving. He will give us the golden chain if we want it. He'll give us the silver chain, the bronze chain. But eventually, when we go again and again and again and again and realize, okay, these are chains. I thought there was something. There were things that I was gonna enjoy, but that is how we are here in Krishna consciousness, because we have gone again and again in this material world through all these 8.4 million species, and even we can't even remember all these other 8,399,999 species. We can't remember all this. We don't remember our lives in that. Maybe some of us may be fortunate to remember their previous lives, but this specific life, even in this one, we have gone through again and again and again and again. And it feels like a long time, but it's been a few years, even 100 years compared to the number of years that we have experienced in this material world. Is a huge number. Is a very, very small number. But even that feels like a long time. We feel like we've been suffering for a long, long, long time. But when you ask someone, how old are you? I'm 20. And you say you've suffered? That's how it feels. That's how being bound feels. It makes us feel like it's really terrible. And when we're feeling terrible, it's like sitting in a boring class. I hope my class is not boring. But when you sit in a boring class, you can't wait for it to end. Or when you're burning the scorching sun, you can't wait for it to end. So it feels long. But when something is sweet, it ends really quick. So in this material, even this present life that we can remember, it feels like we've been going through these miseries for a long time. It's a very short time. But fortunately, we've been presented, because we've been our desire to be unbound by these chains is being answered. Has been answered, actually. It is being answered. It is a continuous process. It has been answered, and it is being answered every other time that we choose. Remember, as I said, the only power that we have is one: to desire to be unbound by these chains. So us coming here, even you just sitting here, going to take prasadam, waking up in the morning to chant some rounds, whatever we do, the work that we do, because some of us are working, that we work so that we can feed our families. They can be Krishna conscious families, or we can give some donations to help with Krishna consciousness, and all these many limbs of devotional service that we engage with. All these are just a desire to be unbound by these strong chains, which we literally can't do on our own. We are bound. So slowly by slowly, it's a process. Maybe Krishna has already opened the first part. He has already started, he has already started at the back, and he's coming. He's pulling the chains towards the front, and like that. Maybe because it's a long one. It's like it's wound again and again and again. So he's slowly, as we continue to engage in devotional service, we are unbound from these chains. Just refer to my notes, see what. Yeah, so Krishna says in this verse that those who are, and the one thing, that it's called divine energy. This material world, even though it has these modes of material nature, it is divine energy. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that even the material world, because it's emanating from Krishna, everything, Krishna is perfect. So anything coming from him is perfect as well. So the distinction between material energy and spiritual energy is that the material energy is inferior and the spiritual energy is superior. So we eventually, as we continue to practice, as we continue to go higher and higher through these three levels of Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttamadhikari, when we get to the highest platform of spiritual knowledge, spiritual perfection, we understand that yes, this is Krishna. Even what people are going through these modes of material nature, even them, they are Krishna. But that's when we get to the highest platform, then we can see everything in relation to Krishna. At the moment, or at least for myself, being Kanishta, and some of us being in Madhyam Adhikari, then we have to sort of create that black and white position. We say that spiritual energy is white and material energy is black, that this material world is a place of ignorance. The Uttamadhikari doesn't see that. He sees everything as perfect. He sees this material energy as a divine energy. It consists of the three modes of material nature and is difficult to overcome. I like this part. It is difficult to overcome. So he doesn't say it is impossible to overcome. Krishna does not use the word impossible, or Srila Prabhupada, when he translates, he doesn't say it is impossible to overcome. It is difficult to overcome. I was just listening to Bhaktivedanta Manor, and someone asked a question. He said, well, we sometimes when we come to Bhaktivedanta Manor was explaining that we need to have eagerness. We need to have eagerness to when we come to Bhagavatam class, or when we engage in things, we engage fully. We become eager to listen and that kind. So we don't sleep, or when we are chanting our rounds, we should not sleep. So this devotee in the audience asked, so what if when we are feeling sick, or when we are feeling a little under the weather, what should we do? Because the sickness will make us feel a little more lethargic. And Bhaktivedanta Manor looked away for some time, and I was eagerly waiting to hear what he had to say. And he said, eagerness is mystical. Eagerness is mystical. Literally, eagerness is magical. The word mystical means Krishna is known as Yogeshwara, or the king, or the controller of all mystic powers, or all things that seem like magic. So when we have the eagerness, then Krishna becomes he becomes indebted to us to reciprocate to the eagerness. Because he's Yogeshwara, because he's the controller, he's the supreme controller, then he ignites, he does this magic. And even if you're feeling sick, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna chant those rounds. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna dance. Even if that's why he chooses to use difficult and not impossible. So the only thing, as we said, the only thing that we own is a willingness, is a desire. That's what free will is. It's either the desire to please Krishna, or to please ourselves. That's the only thing that all these things that we think that we own, then that is just the desire to please ourselves. That is us coming under the false ego. So the only desire that we actually own is just the desire to either please Krishna or please ourselves. And also, Prabhupada puts it many times that pleasing ourselves also means ourselves and our extensions, all these people we identify as, me and mine, all this family and, the nations and all this race and all that kind of thing. So when we choose to please ourselves and our extensions, then we come under under Mahamaya. And when we choose to please Krishna, then we come under yoga and under Yoga Maya. So that's what free will is. Free will is choosing, having the desire. It's just about desire, having material desire or spiritual desire. And when we have spiritual desire, even though it is difficult to overcome this, Krishna is Yogeshwara. He's a lord of mysticism. He just makes it. It's very easy to him anyway. So those who, just ending that verse, he said, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond this. So I'd like to just extrapolate just with a few words on this. Surrendered unto me. So what exactly does it mean? How can we explain? How can we understand this process of surrender according to, or what does Krishna want us to surrender? How does he want us to surrender? Because through surrender is the only way we can be unbound. We can be completely unbound. There are 6 processes of surrender according to Srila Prabhupada. I think this is his introduction to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. At the end, he says, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just wants us to surrender to this process. That's it. And by surrendering to this process, everything becomes easy. As we can see here, it says it's difficult to overcome this material energy, but everything becomes easy through these 6 steps, these 6 limbs of surrender. The first one is accepting things that are favorable for discharge of devotional service. Second one is rejecting things that are unfavorable. Third is believing firmly in the Lord's protection. Fourth, feeling exclusively dependent on the mercy of Krishna. Fifth, to have no interest separate from the Lord's interests. As we said, we only have, the only thing that we own is desire to either please ourselves and our ego, or the desire to please Krishna. So having no interest separate from the Lord's interests is another step of surrender. And finally, to always feel oneself meek and humble. So more can be said on these 6 steps of surrender. But you can go and read the introduction to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And yeah, so surrender in the most basic, even before we can even go to the process of surrender, we can also understand that surrender means to completely give ourselves. Krishna is a supreme controller. He's a supreme controller of this material energy, and he's a supreme controller of the spiritual energy as well. The only thing that makes us think that we are controllers is a false ego. The false ego gives us the illusion. That's why this place it's called Maya. It's illusion. It's the illusion that we are controlling. It's the illusion that I'm the one who's moving my hands. It's illusion that I'm the one even saying these words. It's illusion that we think that that what we have done all our lives is all through us. But literally the only power that we have is to desire, as we say. And I think this is something that if we actually meditate on deeply and look back in our lives and see the actions that we have done, and actually see that the only thing that we have done or we have wanted, the only thing that we have acquired is just the desire to probably, like right now I'm desiring to do this, my hands, I desire to come here and sit down. But Krishna is a supreme controller. He's the one who's made the muscles. He's the one who's given the prashadam. He's the one who's made this place. He's the one who sent Prabhupada from India to this place. And Prabhupada said, just make me dance. And when Krishna made Prabhupada dance, then millions of us are now dancing every morning. Or we are walking around with beads in our necks. We're enjoying some of the nicest prashadam that we have ever, that we have probably ever eaten. And so in all these many other things. So so surrender basically means, Krishna, make me dance. This is it. Because when we are in Yoga Maya, it's sweet. Yoga Maya, it's Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. We are beings. We are Ananda Maya Bhya Sat. That soul. The jiva. The propensity of the jiva is to enjoy. So this Ananda means enjoy, bliss. So when we are in Yoga Maya, it's complete, infinite, unending every other time. Every other time when we're in the moment when we are thinking of Krishna, when our desire is completely that, Krishna, make me dance. And then the dancing goes on and on and on and on. And because we can't dance on our own, because it's a reciprocation between Atma and Paramatma. It's a reciprocation between Jiva and Krishna. We are competing. We are trying to make Krishna dance, and Krishna is making us dance. Is making us dance, and we are trying to make him this way. And it goes on and on and on and on, as it's explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the gopis and Krishna, they are always competing on who can please the other more. And so when we are in Yoga Maya, when you have a desire to please Krishna, then this is it. It's all blissful, going on and on and on and on. But we're just unfortunate because all we have known is just pleasure to the senses, pleasure to the mind, pleasure to the ego. So slowly, even though we have not come to this point where that bhakti is dancing, that we've danced in the morning during programs and all that kind of thing, during festivals and kirtans and all that, and we dance when we take prashadam, and we dance when we have all these good things about being here in Krishna consciousness. But we have these things that we don't really like, maybe waking up in the morning, sitting down to chant 16 rounds. It feels like, oh my God, 2 hours, will this ever end? But it just passes like a minute somehow. That's the dancing. Somewhere we come out, we're feeling more ecstatic. Our days go well, and that kind of thing. Those who surrender to him can easily cross beyond it, and then eventually Bhakti becomes sweet. It becomes very, very easy to go about. Prabhupada says that in the mode of goodness, we need to practice rules and regulation. The characteristic of mode of goodness is that it tastes like poison in the beginning, but it's nectar at the end. That is why spiritual life can only be optimally practiced in the mode of goodness, because of the rules and regulations. They are poison. Did I have to stop, eating meat? Did I have to stop gambling? Did I have to stop engaging in illicit sex? For those who are, did I have to stop? When we took up this for regulative, did I have to stop to do these things? At first, that is it. But you can check your journey; it's been completely much, much better. And as we go on, all these things that we do that we feel like are austerities, and they become sweet. That is what Krishna means, but that we can easily cross beyond this material world, or we can easily be unbound from these chains of the modes of material nature. I'd like to end my discussion on my bluffery. I hope it was meaningful. I'd like to. If you'd like to ask any questions, please do. Please ask. Please give me some questions. Test me. I want to know how good I'm doing this.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the amazing lecture. You talked about how the only thing we have is a desire to choose to either try to please ourselves or please Krishna. What do we do? Because we know when someone is a mixed devotee, they should just continue on and practicing devotion service. But also, if we hear that, we may become a little relaxed. Oh, I'm a mixed devotee, so I'm just gonna continue. Yeah, I do a little bit of Krishna consciousness. I'm gonna continue with my Maya as well, and hopefully, eventually, I get purified. So, what should we do if we're in that position?
So, something that I realized with how Prabhupada presented this philosophy is that he presented the ideal. That's what he did. He told us, you must make it back to Godhead this life. Even though, in real sense, he knows that not everyone will make it back to Godhead in this life, because he knows that some of us are Bhakti Mishra, what do you call, Karma Mishra Bhaktas, that we have mixed devotion, we are, we have our material desires. And, the unfortunate thing about being a Karma Mishra Bhakta is that you don't know you're a Karma Mishra Bhakta. That's what illusion is. Maya is that. You don't know that the happiness you're feeling is from maybe having opulent prasad, or being the one to lead kirtan, or being the one to please the sadhu who came to give class. When we are Karma Mishra Bhaktas, or when we have mixed devotion, we don't know. We're in illusion. We think that this is bhakti. We think, oh yes, I'm enjoying. This is what Krishna means, enjoying. Yes, in one sense, yes, it does mean that. But someone who's above us, that's why we need spiritual guidance. That's why we need teachers. We need to have a connection with someone who's higher than us. Then they can let us know if at all what we are doing is mixed bhakti, or we are actually practicing pure bhakti. But Govinda Prabhu, some time back when he was seated here, he said, pure devotional service is both the means and the end. We are trying to be pure devotees, but at the same time, we try to do what pure devotees do to get to be pure devotees. So, in a sense, we can't have pure devotional service, and that is just being sincere, being completely sincere, that all I want is to dance. Make me dance, just to surrender. I want to be in yoga maya. I don't want any material desires. And one thing that can test us, that can confirm that we don't want any material desires, if we miss that, we skip that opulent prasad. You know what I mean? If we skip that, maybe if we skip a meal even. We are eating just to maintain the body and the mind, the body and the soul, to maintain the body and the soul together, right? So someone who's actually sincere, they just to tell Krishna, this is how surrendered I am to you. I will skip this meal because you're not gonna die anyway, and probably it might, as long as, of course, Prabhupada emphasized, if it's not gonna affect your service, whatever service that there is, then make sure that you have a meal. So something that one way that we can test if we are actually having mixed devotion, or we are actually trying to please Krishna, is on our willingness to do some austerity. Our willingness to do some austerity, our willingness to not enjoy, literally. That's how we can know if we have mixed devotion. Because mixed devotion means that we have a hidden agenda to enjoy, to have some enjoyment with Krishna at the same. But no, we can't enjoy together with Krishna. Krishna enjoys first, and as an effect, as a consequent effect, then we enjoy. I don't know if that answered your question.
I think we have like a minute left. But, how do we use the modes to our advantage?
Yeah, so the next verse in that verse, text 41 says, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance to the material modes. So Krishna, when he created this material world, he created the modes, and all at the same time created the Varnashram system, so that it can fit together with the modes. This Varnashram system, even though it is material, but it is supposed to bring us to a transcendental position by having specific duties that we do. So in this way we can place ourselves as Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. Yeah, it does.
Rita Prabhu ki jai.
Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagavan ki Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri Shri Gaur Anitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki.
Kiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Arati Kashobha Arati Kashobha Jana Vidata Bhane Jagamanaloba Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Arati Kushobha Jana Vidata Bhane Jagamanaloba Japinenitai Bame Gadadhara Nitai Chan Bame Gadadhara Shankha baje Shankha baje Ganta baje baje Karatala Shankha baje Ganta baje baje Karatala Madhura mridanga baje Paramarasala Madhura mridanga baje Paramarasala Shankha baje Ganta baje Madhur 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 baje Shankha baje Ganta baje Madhur 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 baje Shankha baje Ganta baje Madhur 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 baje Bahokati Chandra Jini Badana Ujvala Bahokati Chandra Jini Badana Ujvala Kala deshe banamala Kare dhalamala Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamene Namine Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Nityananda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gaurane Jai, Gaurane Jai, Gaurane Jai, Jaya Gaurane Jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya, Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtatara Shata Sri Srimad Abhaya Charanara Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtatara Shata Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की जय। श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समावेत भक्त वृंद की जय। Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So now it's time for the Nrsimha prayers. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Yato yato yami tato Nrsimha. Nrsimhamaring Sharanam Prapade. Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakam Adhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tamno
Shri Nrsingadeva Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So Mahaprasad should be being served in the reception room now. So you can go and have Mahaprasad now. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
A little while ago. harder for.
No,
when it's
actually,
a bit more packed.
no, I can sing now because I got a throaty thing.
Oh, you want to? You
Yeah,
sure?
I'd rather sing now, so I'm going to sing.
Okay.
Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namo. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Dai gode premanande. Who's next? Oh yeah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Premanande Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Namaste Narasingaya. Namaste Narasingaya. Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.
Can I get that recording?